All right, the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions. Today we're going to be counting down Shawn Michaels' 20 greatest matches. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank, man. The longer your career goes, the better chance. If you're a main eventer, future Hall of
Yeah,
Famer, you're going to have a lot of
yeah.
matches that are, to me, 4 or 5 star type quality matches. Shawn Michaels has all of that. There is a reason why they called him Mr. WrestleMania. A lot of his matches are going to be coming out of WrestleMania matches. Doesn't win them all. That's all right. You don't have to win them for it to be a great match. Plus, I have 3 honorable mentions here. This was really tough to narrow this list down
hmm
from. There was, I must have seen about 100 matches, uh, looking over, trying to pick which ones belong, which ones didn't. It's a shame that some got cut away from it, but this is what we've got for you. The 3 honorable mentions. Let's start with them first. Number one versus Razor Ramon at SummerSlam 1995. Not as great as the first ladder match that they had, but Gorilla Monsoon decided, or Vince McMahon, whichever you want
Right.
to think
On
was in
TV,
charge at that point.
on
On
TV it was
TV, it's
Gorilla,
Gorilla
yeah, but in reality, yeah,
because on the take, Tony was gone at this
yeah,
point, quoting Bobby Heenan. This one wasn't as good as the first one, but it still brought a special energy to the
yeah.
crowd
It was
to
still
an
fun.
already weak kind of
It's
SummerSlam
still,
card.
it was a good match. They had problems apparently that would I don't know who was complaining. I think it was the advertisers were complaining about the violence, so they couldn't use the ladder in the same way that they used it the first time
Yes.
around. So there was like they were kind of limited, but they still made it work.
And, supposedly, remember Psycho Sid was crying because he was supposed to
Well, he
have
was supposed
his
to have the
IC
match.
title
Yeah,
match,
yeah, yeah,
and they changed it.
yeah.
Um, but this was still a good match nonetheless between Razor and Shawn. This time Shawn got the victory over Razor Ramon in the ladder match, kicks his Intercontinental Championship. I want to say this real quick, and this is especially for you. No Shawn Michaels Jeff Jarrett match made this countdown. Let's
Just
just
their
yes,
match
let's
actually
just
was good at In Your House though, but it's all
it
right.
was,
It was a
but
good match. I don't
no.
like Jeff, but it was a good match. All right, moving on.
It was a good match. It was a good
Yeah,
match.
yeah.
Honorable mention number two, Survivor Series 2002 in Madison Square Garden, the Elimination Chamber match. Um, this match was special, especially for Shawn. This was after his unsanctioned fight.
hmm
Bischoff gave him the opportunity to be into this match should he agree to it. And Shawn was in this match as a challenger along with Chris Jericho, Kane, Booker T, and Rob Van Dam against World Heavyweight Champion Triple H. Uh, I mean, this was a great match. Shawn Michaels, it came down to him and Jericho. Sorry, excuse me, him and Triple H. He eliminated Chris Jericho, as well as Sweet Chin Music to Triple H, and he became the World Heavyweight Champion in only his second pay per view back from being out for almost
Yeah.
4.5 years. This was a
Unfortunately,
really, really good match.
Unfortunately, never wins it again. But it was cool to see him get the title
Understand
again.
that. I really don't.
Yeah.
As many title matches as he received over the next 7.5 years
I
until
know.
he left,
Yeah.
he doesn't win the WWE or the World Heavyweight title again. I don't
Like they,
understand that. Maybe he didn't want it. Maybe
it could
he
be. It
just
could
wanted
be.
to work with the younger talent to
Right,
get
right.
them over. And then, of course, honorable mention number three, Survivor Series 2003. It was Team Bischoff versus Team Austin. If Austin's team lost, Austin had to step down as
Yep.
general manager. It was Chris Jericho, Christian, Randy Orton, Scott Steiner, and Mark Henry versus Shawn Michaels, Rob Van Dam, Booker T, and the Dudley Boys. Austin, of course, they brought up the animosity kind of between the two. Could
Mm.
Austin trust Shawn?
Right, right. Yeah.
They brought up WrestleMania 14.
Mm.
Shawn fought his heart out at the end of this
Yeah,
match.
he
It was
rallied back.
three
Yeah.
against one.
Yep.
Oh man, did he? He
Was
took out
bleeding. Had the
Christian.
crimson mask. It was all yeah, yeah.
He
Everyone
took
was
out
going crazy.
Christian. He
Yeah.
took out Jericho. All before Randy Orton took him out. Of course, Jericho helped
Yeah.
a
Damn
little bit with a
it.
steel chair, and so Randy Orton was the sole
Yeah.
survivor. Steve
Then
Austin, he nothing he could say to Sean. Sean laid it
yeah.
all out there,
Yeah. Sean's like yeah.
and he told him, "I
Sean
tried.
apologized. Yeah. He
Yeah,
apologized to
I'm
him.
sorry, I
Yeah.
tried."
Yeah. It was good
But
storytelling. Great match. Yeah. It's fun.
yeah, and it was one of the best Survivor Series matches that I have seen.
hmm
So it was pretty good. Now let's get to the top 20 again, these were very hard to put them in any specific order. Not so much the top five, but the rest of them. At number 20, on Primetime Wrestling, July 21st, 1992, Shawn Michaels in an Intercontinental title match against Bret the Hitman Hart in a ladder match.
Yep.
This one was really good.
It's before Shawn and Razor. This was Brett introducing the ladder matches because they used to do them in Stampede Wrestling.
Yeah.
This was like this was a Coliseum home video exclusive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then this was really good.
Yeah.
You know, Shawn had a lot of good matches in 1992. There are a few in this top 20 from that year, but again, to me, there was never been a bad Shawn Brett match unless you want to talk Survivor Series '97. I'm not getting into that.
Because they didn't get to finish it, but the continuing.
Exactly. Yes. But this showed what we would see later on at Survivor Series, and then again at WrestleMania, and so on and so forth. This was a great match. Unfortunately, Shawn comes out on the losing end of it. Bret Hart climbs the ladder, gets the Intercontinental title, defends it. Of course, 1 month later, be losing it to the brother-in-law, British Bulldog.
Yeah.
At number 19, some people don't know about this feud, and I'm going to get into it. It was April 19th, 1992. Rampage 92 is the Coliseum video it's on. It was on their UK tour. Shawn Michaels facing WWE champion Macho Man Randy Savage. And I seem to remember, and a long time ago, but I do remember either reading or hearing that Randy had gone to Vince talking to him about how he wanted to do a program, pretty much not just about maybe a year-long program with Shawn, culminating at WrestleMania.
I think it was during a '94. I think he wanted to do that. It was later on.
It was later on, okay.
Yeah, and then that
because I know they had a lot of house matches and European matches. Yeah. These two locked up.
And then Vince said no, and then he ends up eventually leaving. But yeah,
that's a shame because if you haven't seen this match on the Rampage '92, man, a young Shawn Michaels just fresh out of being a singles competitor facing the WWE champion. Man, this was an awesome match. Yeah. It really was. And of course, Savage gets the victory in this one, of course, WWE champion. But they did fight over the summer, and in some house shows as well, they kept it going. But it would have been really cool to see on paper these two guys go lock up. And even in 1994, it would have been good to see it.
Absolutely.
Even if it was no title, just strictly one-on-one, it would have been great. At number 18, January 23rd, 1989. Yes, we have a Rockers match in this one. Oh, I was going to honorary mention the Rockers tag team title victory, but because Vince says it doesn't exist, that was
Well, the match was terrible because the rope broke. It's not anybody's fault, but the rope.
Just to mention because they technically became the tag team champions.
Yeah, although it's been erased from history.
Exactly. This match was at Madison Square Garden versus the Brainbusters.
Yeah, it's a famous match.
This, out of all of them, was probably one of the best ones they had. And the Brainbusters brought a lot out of the Rockers, working with them all that year, making them better than they were. And they did come out of this feud a lot better than when they went into it. But this match itself at Madison Square Garden, man, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, man, they really took it to Shawn and Marty in this one. Unfortunately, it's a loss for the Rockers. But, of course, the Brainbusters just coming in from WCW, NWA, got on that quick win streak right away. And the Rockers did get a few wins against them, including the last time they fought each other. So they got the last laugh in that war. But this match itself was really good. At number 17, and this was hard to put this one down so low. It was on Monday Night Raw, May 2nd, 2005, during the Gold Rush tournament, Shawn Michaels versus Shelton Benjamin. Man, why they didn't continue having a feud between these two, even taking it to pay-per-view, I have no idea. That infamous slingshot from Shelton Benjamin to Shawn's super kick,
yeah,
it was just amazing.
Yeah,
and Shelton Benjamin,
spot, yeah,
definitely, he had the tools in the ring to go toe-to-toe with Shawn, and hearing Ross and Lawler call this match was sick. Shawn Michaels comes away with a victory in this one, as he moved on in the Gold Rush tournament that they had for, I think at the time, what was it, May? So Batista's title, pretty much, or John Cena's at the time. They swapped over around May. So, but yeah, Shawn Michaels getting the victory over Shelton. Really, really good match. Unfortunately, like I said, it was Monday Night Raw, not a pay-per-view. Number 16. These two guys will have a few matches in this top 20. WrestleMania 25 on April 5th, 2009 versus The Undertaker. Now, you know me, any Shawn Undertaker match, I loved. There was just something about it.
They always had great matches, yeah.
I mean, you look at Shawn, you look at Undertaker, and you could see the height difference, the weight difference. It's a complete on paper a mismatch. But when Shawn steps in the ring with the Undertaker, it's like he becomes this totally different guy
Hmm.
that can go toe to toe with him. And it's just something about these two guys getting into the ring that I just love. And when they brought that kind of back, it was in 2007 when Taker won the Rumble, and it came down to these two guys. I'm like, oh man, we haven't seen this in 10 years. And I mean, when they went to WrestleMania against each other, this match was just it was unbelievable. It went over 30 minutes. This was just a straight one-on-one match. Unfortunately for Shawn, doesn't get the victory because the
Damn
Undertaker
it.
is undefeated
It's a
at
streak now.
WrestleMania. This would kind of put Shawn in hiatus for half a year. And when Triple H finally brought him back to the land of the living for DX, all Shawn could think about was he was just possessed about the Undertaker. And I'll get to that later because that other match is in this top 20. At number 15, Survivor Series 1992, champion versus champion, Bret Hart defending the WWE title against the Intercontinental Champion, Shawn Michaels. And again, I get the same way with Bret and Shawn matches, except for Survivor Series '93. That was crap. And
97.
he also no. '97 was fine. No. Listen, don't get to that. I'm talking '93 because he wasn't supposed to be in that match. The
Oh, you're
last
talking about
standing
the
replacement, yeah.
yeah, you're talking about
The
the
night with with the Knights and all that garbage.
yeah. This was kind of a last minute put together match too, but it was still good. It's just there was no build. But
No, because they for Survivor Series they were focusing on Savage and Warrior versus Razor and Flair, and this match was kind of the undercard to it.
Warrior never even made it,
Warrior
unfortunately.
never, yeah, perfect takes over. But yeah, there was really no build to this. And originally when they signed this match, it was just Shawn didn't have the title, the Intercontinental title,
Right,
wins
right.
it
He
wins it
won a
against the British
Saturday Night's Main Event.
Bulldog.
Yeah.
hmm So, but this match itself was pretty good. It gave Vince a chance if he didn't see it already that year from Shawn Michaels, what he had going into the future and what kind of chemistry these two guys had in the ring against each other one on one. Unfortunately for Shawn, he doesn't win the title at this one, but he gave
Hmm.
Bret a run for his money
Hmm.
in this one. Number 14, Vengeance 2005, the rematch. When the draft happened, it was Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was drafted over to Raw. According to him, he demanded to be drafted to Raw to finish this feud with Shawn Michaels because they fought at WrestleMania
Before the
21.
WrestleMania, yeah.
But this time, this match was again the first one at WrestleMania was great. This one, it it wasn't as good as the first, but it was equally up there. This time, Shawn comes away with the win, and again, this was another match that went almost 30 minutes between these two guys, and Shawn gets the victory over Kurt Angle.
That's always, he loses at WrestleMania and then
Unfortunately, his top 20 record here is
and then he
9 and
wins,
11,
right? And then he wins on a on a
but
on a Raw or SmackDown, something like that. Like it's an honorable mention. It's worth mentioning now.
he's got a lot of them too.
Cena versus Shawn, right, on Raw.
Yep.
It was the rematch. That was another WrestleMania rematch, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, from WrestleMania 23.
Yeah. That was another good one.
That was a great man. You can there's like 50
Yeah, it
honorable
is. Like you
mentions
can
for
just
this
keep
man.
going forever. Yeah.
Again, you don't need to win at WrestleMania to get the moniker Mr. WrestleMania as long as
He's got
you
a
put the
good
match in.
performance. Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, he's on the Mount Rushmore for WrestleManias of all time.
He's Mr. WrestleMania. I mean,
I would say him, Undertaker, Roman Reigns, and you're not gonna
oh
like
Lord,
that,
oh Lord Jesus, oh
and
Lord.
Hulk Hogan.
Hogan, yes.
As far as main events
Yeah, moments, just
and the
iconic
caliber
moments.
type matches. you'd have to put Roman on there because of how
Yeah,
many main events he's had. But
yeah,
I mean, there's an argument that can be made. Somebody else can take his place, but definitely Taker, Shawn, and Hogan. At number 13, and I love this match, man. This he really got hardcore in this one. In Your House 10 Mind Games. Shawn defends
yeah.
the WWE title against Mankind.
Yeah, this was a great
And
match.
man, Mankind really brought it all out of him. He brought out that hardcore,
Hmm.
vicious side of
Yeah,
Shawn.
wrestled a different style. Yeah,
Yep.
mhm.
And he was able to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
and when I first while I heard about this match being
I
signed
didn't,
on Raw, I was like, what the hell? Are they trying to kill him?
I didn't think
Because,
that it was gonna be that. I thought it was gonna be okay, but I didn't think it was gonna be that good.
no. Because again, he just came off of SummerSlam against Vader. And now the next in your house, they put him against Mankind. I'm like, man, they're really stacking the deck against this boy. Like, and I'm trying to think, okay, are they gonna? It's too early for this guy, Mankind, to get the championship. I don't see them really taking it off of Shawn here. Is it going to be a good match? And man, was it?
Great.
Oh, and Shawn gets the victory over Mankind. But and again, they it's just a shame that there weren't more pay per view matches for Foley against Shawn Michaels. At number 12, WrestleMania 20, the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight title. Triple H defending the title against Shawn Michaels and the Royal Rumble winner, Chris Benoit. In my opinion, I think this would have been a lot better if it was just straight up Shawn versus Triple H at WrestleMania. But adding Benoit
Yeah.
kind of made it a little
A little
better.
different. Yeah, just a little different because we had seen
We've already
Sean and
seen,
yeah, it was going on. That was
but
already
for them to culminate the feud at
yeah, yeah,
WrestleMania would have been good.
yeah, yeah.
But Benoit brought that little extra into it.
Hmm.
The rematch Backlash the following one wasn't as good as this one. And for WrestleMania 20, which the card was stacked, but when you watched it, it's kind of like I don't know, something was missing from them.
I
Maybe
agree.
because Goldberg and Lesnar stunk up the
Stunk of
whole
it. Yeah,
night. But I mean, seriously.
pretty much, pretty much.
But these guys brought it home, and when Benoit got Triple H to tap out after Shawn went out of the ring, and finally got the World Heavyweight title. And I know this is not a Benoit top 20, but it's good mentioning at least at the end of this that when Guerrero came out and hugged him,
Yeah,
this was their night. But Shawn really took it to Benoit and Triple H, and the storyline of Shawn trying to get into this match. He's like, I gotta win the Rumble. Doesn't win the
right,
Rumble.
right.
I
Yeah,
gotta get into the
yeah,
WrestleMania. He's trying to convince Benoit, bow out. I need this match. And Benoit's like, screw you, and super kicks him, writes his name in the contract. I mean,
yeah. Remember, it was good stuff. Yeah,
yeah, this was
yeah.
really, really good. At number 11, WrestleMania 19. I told you there were gonna be a lot of WrestleMania matches on here. His return WrestleMania match, first time since 14 against Chris Jericho,
Yeah.
the guy that most people compared to Shawn
Compared
Michaels.
him to yeah. I used to
Which
compare him to HBK before.
I did too, but I don't like when they say, "Oh, he's the next so and so."
Yeah. No, Jericho was his own thing, but just
He was,
I remember I used to when he was in WCW, I used to tell people like this is the next Shawn Michaels.
but Jericho did
Yeah.
admit, and they showed
Yeah, he
videos
was
of
inspired
him
by him. Yeah.
mimicking
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels in
Style
WCW
of
and over
dress,
in
even the way
Japan.
he
Yeah,
wrestled. Yeah. Yep.
and this feud was really good. It started, at the Rumble. They came in 1 and 2, and then it escalated from there. And WrestleMania 19 to me had a
They stole the show.
stacked.
But these
Yes,
guys these guys stole
definitely.
the show. Yeah, they stole the show.
It was a stacked card with a
No, it was.
lot of
It
great
was.
wrestlers.
It was.
And this was the third, fourth match on the
Something like that. Yeah.
card, and people were still talking about this match
Hmm.
during Lesnar's match against Angle.
Hmm.
And Shawn Michaels, he put it all out there. He beats Chris Jericho. You think you're going to get the hug at the
Right,
end,
yeah, and then
and then the low blow.
damn it.
I know, but these guys had a
Damn
great
it,
feud
Jericho.
together.
Yeah, it was great.
I
And
know.
it continues.
Oh, does it continue? Even 5 years
Mhm.
later. At number 10, we're now down. We're on the top 10. At number 10, In Your House 7, Good Friends, Better Enemies. Shawn
Yes,
Michaels
yes.
in a WWE Championship no holds barred match against Big Daddy Cool
Yep.
Diesel.
This was great, man. This is probably their best match. I think this was their
Yes,
best match, yeah.
And this stemming from the house show right before WrestleMania,
Right,
where
right.
Diesel
Word Diesel, yeah.
hits he it was Diesel and Shawn versus Taker and Brett.
Mm-hmm.
Diesel hits Brett and Taker with the chair, and then out of nowhere hits Shawn with it. And Shawn, being quoted as he's leaving the ring, "I'm going to kick his 7 foot ass."
Mm-hmm. And of course,
And
Diesel's on his way out. He's on his way out the door. He's going to WCW.
exactly.
And then
So you know who's going to win this match, but who better
Shawn,
to face than your
that was
buddy?
great. That spot where he got jackknifed through the table, the fire extinguisher. Shawn wins the match, and
Everything.
then he's like he says, "You want
He
to go
said,
where the big
"Get
boys
the hell out of
big boys
here!"
play? Get the hell out of here!" Yeah, it was good stuff. And he's
I
like
loved
Shawn is
his
posing.
intensity when
It
he
was
was
good
coming
stuff.
to the ring.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
already taken his
yeah,
stuff
yeah. It
off
was
before
great.
he's even getting
Tremendous. Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
But yeah, the Shawn wins this one of many victories as champion going through 1996. At number 9, and I put this here because this was one of my favorite WrestleMania main event matches because at the time these were my guys. WrestleMania 14, Shawn defending the title against Stone Cold Steve Austin. And despite Shawn's injury of how serious it was, he was hurt. There was no doubt about that. But to the extent of the injury is another thing. He laid it all out there. You had Mike Tyson as a special enforcer. The build up going to into this match where now you think Tyson's DX, you think Austin's going to face Tyson at some point at WrestleMania. Shawn, despite the back injury, and you can see the grimace in his eyes, still went out there and gave Austin a hell of a match. The ending where the super kick gets blocked, Austin goes for the stunner, that's blocked. Super kick, no. Stunner, yes. Tyson counts to 3. I know this sounds like I'm praising Austin more than Shawn in this match, but this was a great match. And if this was, we all figured this was Shawn's final
Hmm.
match,
It
and
was
what a
for
way
four
to go
years.
out! Yeah, and he was pissed off because remember at the press conference, everybody
Storms out.
he storms out the door
It
like
was real.
Shawn would
It was
do. Yeah,
real.
it was.
Sean was angry because he had thrown. Remember, this guy throws the Stone Cold shirt on him. He had said not to prior to it. I think Tyson throws the Stone Cold shirt on him, right? Is
Yes.
it Tyson? Um,
Yeah, this match was unbelievable. Just his back was just grimacing from the injury from the Royal Rumble, but he still managed to give one hell of a match. And I mean, if people don't think that this match belongs in the top 10, hey, let me know. If you think it belonged in the bottom 10 or not, 11 to 20 or not at all. Me personally, I definitely think it did because he showed up that night despite how he felt, and he delivered. At number 8, and this was a sad match for me because I didn't want to see him go, but I knew it had to happen. WrestleMania 24, the career-threatening match, Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair. Now, this was the stipulation that Vince put on Flair that if
but
the next time he lost a match,
that's it. He was out of
you're
there.
out of here.
Yeah.
And Flair wanted to face Shawn at WrestleMania,
Hmm.
and Shawn was like, I don't want to do it, And then Flair's getting pissed off, don't treat me like an old man. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna end your career. And then, of course, during the match, right before he does, he goes, "I'm sorry, and I love you."
Yeah.
And that final super kick, and
Yeah.
and you see Flair's like,
No,
he's
amazing.
giving
Come
it
on,
to
amazing.
me.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was good
Come
stuff, man.
on, come
Yeah, yeah,
on.
yeah. Do it. Just do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was,
Good stuff.
oh man, and
And Flair was
he,
Sean's hero. Sean looked up to him for
yes.
years.
Matter
So
of fact, you can these two fought right before the Rockers kind of split up in
right, right. Yeah,
December of
they had a
'91. Shawn Michaels had fought Ric
yeah.
Flair,
Hmm.
and that was a good match too. But this one when he pinned him and he hugged him, this was just an
And
amazing
then
match.
Flair, no, it was tremendous. I'm just laughing now because then Flair goes and ruins it, and then is in TNA
Yeah, and he's fighting
wrestling.
there.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
crazy. Yeah,
God.
but to each his own, I guess.
Yeah. And then of course this eventually set up Batista being pissed off at
Right. Yeah.
Shawn. Why
Yeah.
didn't you just lay down for the man?
Hmm.
Because I know damn well you wouldn't lay down for the
Yeah.
man. I know power bomb
Hmm.
his ass, so don't go there. But yeah, this was a great match, great storytelling, emotional ending. But yeah, he
Yeah.
ruined it going to TNA and wrestling for another what, 5 years? Oh boy. At number 7, No Mercy 2008, the world title ladder match against Chris Jericho.
Yep.
That
This
was
was
one. This was their best, to me, their best match that they had between each other. And this was actually this involved his wife at the time too.
yeah,
This
because he
in the
hits her
whole
by
storyline.
yeah, because Jericho hits her by accident. He goes to hit Shawn, and this was 2008. They started their feud again. They had a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
matches, and this was a great one. Yeah,
Oh yeah, this brought out the real intensity in Shawn Michaels. He wanted to beat the
this was for the
crap out of
belt,
him.
and this was
Yep.
Jericho was the champion. But
And
I
I
had a
and I
bad
was really
feeling.
hoping that night that
I
he'd
was
win it.
hoping Shawn would win, but I already had a feeling because I'm like, all right, Shawn beat him already. I think they had some street fight or something before that. I
Yeah.
forget. So I was like, yeah, you know what that means. Like,
And plus the old thing that on the last Raw or SmackDown before the pay-per-view,
if you
whoever
get
gets
one
the
up,
upper
your
hand,
upper hand, yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
not winning.
You know, yeah.
And usually 90% of the time that's the case.
Hmm.
And Shawn had the upper hand on the last Monday Night Raw going into No Mercy, and then he doesn't come away with the title, and that's a shame because I really thought this was the night. You put Jericho to rest and you take his championship. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. At number 6, WrestleMania 10, the ladder match for the Intercontinental title, dual Intercontinental titles, Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon.
Yeah, it's just iconic.
This was great.
It's iconic, yeah.
Telling this story all the way from October, November
Hmm.
to March. Sean's like, I'm the Intercontinental Champion. What are you
Because he never
talking about?
lost. He never lost.
Yeah, he gets a
He got
bogus
stripped. Yeah,
suspension. And they're
suspended
like,
and
send the
stripped him.
belt back. He goes, I'm not
Come
taking
get
sending the
it.
belt back.
Yeah, come
Come and
get
get
it.
it.
Yeah.
Once Sean was done with Survivor Series and the whole Knights thing that he wasn't
Hmm.
even supposed to be involved in, he pointed his attention towards
Yep.
Razor, and he's saying that that's the bogus Intercontinental title. I have the real one. So they're like, okay, well, let's find out. We're going to put the titles up in the ladder match at WrestleMania 10. And man, what did they say? They looked like Sean was having a match more with the ladder than he was with Razor.
Yeah, that wasn't fair though, because Scott Hall was a great worker. Razor
He
Ramon.
is. No, he is.
And he made that match work too. So
They also said
I don't
that they
like to hear
took too
that.
much time, and that's why they couldn't get the other
Yeah.
match in. No, you did us a favor. That was a Jeff Jarrett match. We didn't need
Yeah,
that match at WrestleMania. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Matter of fact, I'll do you one better. You could have
Did
replaced
it.
Earthquake and Adam Bomb
Yeah.
with that 8-man tag match. It didn't matter.
Everybody,
Sean,
it wasn't only their fault though, because I don't want to get too sidetracked, but I think everybody kind of went over a little bit their time
yeah,
limits,
even
and
the
then it
opening
just
match
it
went over.
added up, and then it just added up that
So they
either way,
wound up
tremendous
doing it
match.
on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, yeah, tremendous match. It's iconic, and it would
It
set the
is.
stage for ladder matches going forward.
Oh yeah, definitely. Even though, like we said earlier, Brett brought in the ladder. These guys had it earlier before. This was the first time that this was on the grandest
So yeah.
stage of them all, and it set
Hmm.
the pace. It's just set it up for the future, man. It was just great. These two going, just killed each other pretty much during this match, and then Razor came away with the victory. At number 5, WrestleMania 26, career versus streak. Sean did everything, and I mean everything, to get Taker's attention
Hmm.
for this. Taker told him no, even to the point where Sean showed up in the Elimination Chamber and cost him
It
the
cost him. Yeah,
title.
that's right. Yeah.
Now, it reminds me of what Batista did to Triple H a few years ago when he had Flair. Do I now have your attention? Like, are you going to listen
Hmm.
to me now? Are you going to give me what I want? So Taker's like, okay, my streak, your career. And the stakes couldn't have been higher for this match. And it was twice as it was
Yeah.
even better. It was
The
better than
only
the year before,
It was great. The only thing is, I knew Shawn was gonna lose.
of course,
I knew Shawn was gonna lose.
because at that time the
He wasn't
streak
breaking the streak.
nobody was breaking this.
He
To
wasn't gonna
me,
break
to
it.
me, honestly, to this day, the streak should have never been broken.
No, it shouldn't have. We spoke about that, but yeah. But
Yes.
that's the only problem is I already knew what the outcome was, but either way, it was just a great match.
Mm-hmm.
Tremendous match.
Because like I said earlier, when Sean came back and Triple H is focusing on legacy, Sean's and they got they're looking for tag titles, they're looking for anything they could get their hands on. Sean's only got his idea on one thing: I got to win the Rumble,
Mhm.
I got to challenge the Undertaker. I didn't win the Rumble. Okay, am I going to face you at WrestleMania? No. Okay, fine. Now I showed up at Elimination Chamber, cost you the match. Do I get you now? Yes. and they laid it all out there, and it was a great match. But again, like you said, we knew what the
I
outcome
know
was
what
going
the
to
outcome
be.
was going to be. Yeah.
And then for the next 2 years after that, Triple H tried to avenge him
Yeah.
and was unsuccessful. At number 4, WrestleMania 21, Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. First time we ever got this match, and we were not
Yeah.
disappointed.
Yeah. Man, I was rooting for Shawn, man, but
So was I.
yeah, but it was great though. He was trying to get out of the angle lock. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Good
he
stuff.
couldn't, and he
He
loses
tore the
by
house. Yeah.
submission.
Tore the house down though.
Yes, it did. And that and WrestleMania 21 to me was kind of it was a there weren't many matches scheduled on this card, and it was a little lackluster to me. I mean, even though you had JBL and John Cena and you had Triple H and Batista, it still felt like it was missing something. And the sumo match wasn't it, by the way. Just for anybody else, WrestleMania 21 just to me felt like it was missing something. And Shawn and Angle helped bring that in there.
Hmm.
And again, tore the house down. Still being talked about while Triple H is getting his ass kicked by Batista in the main event. And again, Kurt Angle gets himself drafted over to Raw later on for they get the rematch. And I didn't mention before, but during that storytelling, it was great. It was great when they brought Sherry back in,
Yeah.
and
Oh
that was
yeah.
at the
Yeah.
time Marty Jannetty had
Yeah.
returned.
Right. Yeah.
The Rocker reuniting. No, Shawn, you should have just taken Jannetty. Hey, you want to go back to the barbershop? Let's do that again.
Yeah.
At number 3, Bad Blood 1997, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. Hell in a
Hmm.
Cell inaugural match.
Yep.
Why? Because Taker lost his title thanks to Shawn Michaels. Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels had to
Sean.
call it SummerSlam. And so going forward, now Shawn's kind of turning heel. So come October, these two are going to face each other inside the cell. Shawn wins the match. Well, thank God
Well.
Kane's brother, Undertaker's brother showed up. That's got to
His
be
debut. It's got
Kane.
to be Kane. Kane's debut. Yeah. Great
And
match though.
because Shawn was out on the canvas for a good
Hmm.
10 minutes. I mean, this guy, you could have counted to 100, crimson mask and everything. And he gets the victory, and Triple H and China just dragging his dead carcass out the ring. But I mean, these two guys inside that cell, you didn't know what to expect because we've never seen this match in WWE before. But they did not disappoint, and this was one of, if not the best Hell in a Cell
Oh yeah,
match.
hands down.
You can make an argument for Kane and Mankind, but I think it was this one.
No, I go with this one.
Not Kane and Mankind. I'm all over the place. Taker and Mankind. Okay, at number 2, SummerSlam 2002, the non-sanctioned rematch, the return of Shawn Michaels against Triple H. And we talked about this in the Triple H top 10. This match did not
Yeah,
disappoint.
Sean coming out of retirement. It's over. You're finished. HBK is dead.
You're
Yeah, it's
done.
just
It's over.
yeah.
The
Oh my
doctor
God.
said I'll be healed, say
Yeah,
by SummerSlam.
yeah. We had waited. We had wanted to see this since '97, since DX formed, basically, or I should say since '98, I guess, since Sean left, and then he said you
I don't
dropped.
think it would have been good in '98 had he stayed and been booted out of DX. I don't think that it would have been as good as this one.
I think
Like
it.
the
I don't
wait
know.
time
I think
helped.
like in a way, but I think I think it might have been bigger if it would have been happened at WrestleMania, like let's say 2000 or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah. But either way, it's still worked. It's a tremendous match. The non-sanctioned,
he
street
comes
fight.
out unfortunately in his jeans and t-shirt. We
Yeah.
wanted him to come out in his attire,
Right. I mean, we were asking for too much.
and then of course some of the amazing spots that were during this match. When he did the kick up,
Yeah.
and everybody in the place went nuts. Of course, when he goes off the top rope, putting Triple H
He
through the
goes
table,
like,
he's like, I'm a
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
nuts. He doesn't win by the sweet chin music. He rolls up Triple H, which was kind of unorthodox because we were all looking for the sweet
Well, he
chin
got out of the
music.
pedigree, right? That's what it was. He got out of
Yeah,
yeah.
and of course, his elbow drop. Everybody went nuts. But of course, for us, we knew that this wasn't a one and done because right after the match, Triple H grabbing the sledgehammer and
Right.
hitting Shawn in the back. I remember saying that night, "This ain't
Damn it.
over."
Right. Yeah. That left the door
Well,
open.
besides being pissed
Yeah.
off,
Because at the time, some of the backstory, Sean didn't know if he still had it or not. So it was kind of like a test run.
yeah,
But obviously he
he
still had
still
it.
had it.
He didn't skip a beat.
Nope.
Yeah.
But he gets the win against Triple H, but the war is going to
Right.
continue. Triple H made
Right.
sure of that. And at number one on the top 20, WrestleMania 12, the Iron Man match for the
Mm-hmm.
WWE title against Bret the Hitman
Bret
Hart.
Hart, yeah.
You couldn't get any better than this.
No, babyface versus babyface, just
Well, Bret was
the
a
best.
little heelish.
Nah, he was still considered a babyface though.
He
He
still
was.
got a great pop from the crowd.
Mhm.
Sean's entrance to this was just
Iron Man match,
magnificent.
yeah, title, yeah.
The whole build up. Remember Piper coming out and
It had
saying
to
that
be
the
a winner.
stipulation, yeah, that there's gonna, the stipulation was an Iron Man match for
Hmm.
this. So on Raw, they're showing all the working out that they're doing, getting ready
Yep.
for this match. I remember seeing the behind the scenes stuff about how Pat Patterson told Vince that
They would have.
we can put on an Iron Man 60-minute match, and Vince was like, "No, people are gonna get disinterested, whatnot." He goes, I don't know if anybody can pull it off. He goes, "Oh, I got two guys that can pull it off,
Hmm.
Brett and Shawn," and they did. And the great thing about this thing is, you think it ends in a draw, zero
Right.
zero,
Well, it should have been.
yeah, and the match gets ordered to continue. And this is where you see kind of Brett, like the first
What?
time he had to cry, but he's like, "Why? There
Because
must
Brett
be
had
a
him in the middle.
winner."
Because Brett had him in the middle of the ring in the sharpshooter. He wasn't going anywhere, and they rang the bell. So
Yeah,
Brett thought it
and
was
he broke
Brett.
the
Brett.
hold.
Yeah, he either thought it was a draw or Sean tapped or quit,
Yeah,
I should say, because they didn't tap at that point yet. But you get what I'm saying. But yeah, then Sean wins in overtime.
a few minutes into it, he hits the sweet chin music, falls down on him, and the boyhood
The
dream
boyhood dream.
has
Yeah,
come
yeah,
true. Like you had a boyhood dream when you were the Rockers?
yeah.
Okay,
Or when he was, the sexy boy with
exactly. Well, I'm sure he
I'm
wanted to be
sure.
WWE champion
Yeah, I know.
at some point.
But no,
Everybody does.
yeah, great match, and what else can you say? Great career, obviously.
And supposedly I'm hoping it's done, but they are doing some type of storyline in NXT. I've read.
No, Sean is done. Sean's done. But
No, there's a
so
wrestler that he's gotten. I don't know. Again, I don't watch NXT a whole lot, but something that had to do with Ava and Sean practically threw this guy through the wall because he put his hand on her,
yeah,
and I don't know where it's going from there. I
yeah.
hope to God it ain't a match because
Hopefully nowhere.
Sean's done.
But this list could have been even longer. But these
Oh, you
are
could have did a top 30
yeah. Oh
easily.
yeah, easily. But we would have been here for another hour.
Uh, Imagine when we get to the
Yeah.
Undertaker.
But yeah, you guys let us know what you think about Sean's matches. We missed anything, your favorites. We appreciate the comments and everything.
Or if you don't think that the top 10 could have been something else,
Yeah.
by all means,
Yeah.
comment it. Let us know
Let
what
us
you
know.
think.
All right, like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.